Hey friends, today I will explain to you a neo-noir martial arts film named Ninja Assassin. The film starts in a tattoo shop owned by an old, professional man. He is working on a young gangster when a minion brings an envelope filled with black sand. The gangsters do not know what it means, but the old man freezes in shock. He reveals that the black sand denotes the appearance of the brutal, deadliest ninjas in the world. He experienced them long ago and has first-hand experience to know how dangerous they are. When the gangsters call him a coward, he shows them a nasty scar on his chest that was caused by a ninja attack. He was born with a heart on the right side of his chest, which is the only reason he is alive to this day. Unexpectedly, a man's head is sliced in half, splattering blood everywhere. Then, a wire drops from the ceiling and pulls a man upwards. When he is thrown back, only pieces of his gut reach the ground. The ninjas remain hidden in the shadows and slice people's bodies and limbs in one go, creating a bloodbath. Only after everyone is dead do we see the ninjas arriving out of the dark corners of the room. Then we are introduced to the Azunu clan of Japan. It is a clan of ninjas led by the ruthless Lord Azunu. The clan collects children from around the world and makes them go through a series of brutal training to become the ultimate ninja assassins. They are famous among the world leaders but hidden from the rest of the world. Anyone who provides the clan with 100 pounds of gold can hire their assassins and ensure the death of the person they want to target. The Azunu clan has been working from the shadows for additional than 100 years and is behind the deaths of the Russian president, the Japanese prime minister, and many other higher figures. Anyone who knows about them is frightened to ever come across them. In one of the sessions, Lord Azunu introduces a new kid named Reizo to the rest of the group. He was abandoned by his parents and taken into the clan by the leader. Something says Azunu that Reizo will be the leader of the clan after him. Because of the expectation, the training is tougher for Reizo. By the time he is 10, he has scars all over his body from the punishment he gets for making missteps. One of the important qualities a ninja should have is his ability to stay hidden. Reizo is made to walk down a squeaky wooden floor, but a single sound it makes results in his feet being cut by a Kyoketsu Shoji. At darkness, the kid can hardly sleep because of the pain. Then, he witnesses kindness for the first time in his life when a girl puts ointment on his wounds. Her name is Kiriko, and she is a fellow ninja in training. The kids are taught to not have any kind of emotions, but Kiriko is different. She doesn't believe in the violence and massacres that the clan supports. Time passes quickly, and both Reizo and Kiriko grow up together, hardly talking, but always looking out for each other. Reizo has now become the most talented ninja Azunu has ever trained. However, in a match with his senior Takeshi, he loses because of a foul tactic of the opponent. The master allows it and instead blames Reizo for being weak. He uses an exceptionally painful finger-pushing technique on Reizo that causes the guy to crumple in pain. His ultimate test is to survive the night without medical assistance. Upon returning the next morning, Azunu sees him ready for the new day's training and is proud of the student for passing the test. Soon, Reizo becomes the most talented ninja of the clan, beating the opponent blindfolded and with his hands bound. Kiriko is proud of him, but on the other hand, becomes disenchanted with the Azunu's way of life. She repeatedly disregards the little rules of the clan and is warned by Reizo. He is scared that if the leader finds out, he will take her heart away, but Kiriko says her heart is with Reizo, so it can never be stolen. In a training session, she is asked to hurt an opponent with a knife. When Kiriko is unable to do it, Azunu cuts her face and throws her into a cage. Reizo sneaks out to meet her and feed her liquid. A few days later, on a rainy night, Kiriko climbs a wall to escape and encourages Reizo to join her. But he chooses to stay, wanting to remain loyal to the clan since it is all he has ever known. Ultimately, Kiriko is captured and is set to be executed. Senior Takeshi impales her through the heart in front of everyone. A part of Reizo dies that day, but he still decides to stay loyal to the clan. The scene cuts to a few years later in Berlin Europol headquarters. A forensic researcher, Mika, has found evidence about the existence of the clan. Unaware of how hazardous the piece of information can be, she brings it to her senior at work, Maslow. He refuses to believe that there is a secret ninja organization that only the elites know about. But Mika shows him the reports which prove the connection between the flow of cash from world leaders and the deaths of many known figures. Maslow, now interested, decides to dig further into the matter. Eventually, they find out that a high-ranking KGB agent, Sabatin, has made similar reports in the past. But as his work started to gain recognition, he was kicked out of his post for being delusional and ultimately killed. Then, we see that Reizo is also in the city of Berlin, living in a shabby apartment for a special task. He trains every morning over a block of nails like he was taught by his master. One day, he goes to the local laundry shop and comes across a woman. She appears to be friendly, but he instantly recognizes her as a ninja. They two attack each other and indulge in a tough fight. A while later, we see blood dripping out of a washing machine and the girl's body spinning inside it. Meanwhile, Mika takes her investigation a step forward and goes to meet the wife of the former agent who was assassinated for talking about the clans. The woman reveals her husband was a strong, courageous man, but after the scandal, everything changed. He became so much of a pushover that every door and window had a minimum of 2 locks and every corner of the house was well lit. He left no space for the shadow, so the ninjas have no place to hide. Still, one night, the lights went off and he was killed. The following day at work, a higher official comes to Mika's office for evaluation. It is clear that he is there to keep an eye on her because people are talking about her being too curious about the things that don't concern her. That evening, Mika returns home cautiously but finds out there has been a power outage in the entire block. Still, she goes inside her dark apartment but is then attacked by a ninja. Surprisingly enough, another ninja saves her life and kills the killers. He is none other than Reizo. Another flashback shows us the adult Reizo on his mission to complete his first assassination. He lets all his frustration out and brutally kills the target. Subsequently the mission, he comes to the rooftop to meet the rest of the clan. Lord Azunu says that he is proud of Reizo and calls him closer. To his surprise, Reizo attacks him with the Kyoketsu Shurge that cuts him across the face and an eye. His fellow ninja attacks him and thrusts him off the building after hurting him gravely. Reizo barely survives the fall by landing in the water. Then, even since he regained, he has been working against the clan, intervening in all of Ozunu's assassination attempts. He saved Mika's life for the same reason. They drive to a hotel and change their clothes because ninjas use a special smelling technique to track them. Additional that, she gives Maslow a call and tells him she is with Reizo. The man has been asked to capture Reizo as soon as he comes into view. He knows that Reizo is not their primary opponent, but he has to obey the orders for his own life. Hence, when the three meet to discuss the next step in the plan, Reizo is encompassed by police and arrested. He is taken to a hideout and chained in a solitary prison. Mika finds out that Maslow arrested him out of desperation. Still, he refuses to let go of Reizo because he will be the safest in the prison. At night, Mika goes to him and offers him water. Reizo takes the chance to reveal that the assassins will be here any second. Mika tries to warn Maslow, but it is too late. The lights go off and the ninjas come out of the shadows. Even with the greatly advanced weapon, the soldiers are proven to be weak against the warriors. Mika unlocks the chains off Reizo's hands right before he is killed. He battles the ninjas and asks Mika to run away since he cannot save both of them. Reizo is the best student the Azunu clan has ever had. Still, going against a horde of ninjas is difficult for him. In the end, he and Takeshi end up on the road. Takeshi picks up his sword to end Reizo's life for good, but Mika arrives at the right time and hits him with her car. She brings Reizo to a hotel. Although he is harshly injured, he refuses to go to the doctor. She sits beside him, talking to his unconscious self. She apologizes for not being of use to him and thanks him for her life. After that, she pulls a tracking appliance that tells Maslow their location. But before the police can come, the assassins appear out of nowhere and abduct Reizo when the police arrive. They only find Mika sitting on the sofa. She says them that Reizo was abducted 10 minutes ago. Back in the clan's base, Reizo is presented to Lord Azunu. The man gives him the last chance to apologize, but Reizo refuses. Azunu is particularly furious because once he believed that Reizo was going to replace him and take his place as the master of the clan. He makes Reizo stand in the same position Kiriko was enforced. Reizo is then hit with the finger jabbing technique, thrice. While most people would die with a single blow of the technique, Reizo vomits blood. Alongside it, he also vomits a tracking device. Before the ninjas see it, Miki, with an whole police force, enters the premises and wreaks havoc. Many ninjas are killed with explosives, so hiding in the dark doesn't work. In an ensuing battle, many people from both parties are assassinated. Reizo is confronted by Takeshi and his people. Even though the fight isn't fair, he kills all the ninjas and waits for Takeshi's attack. Then the two fight with all their might and Reizo wins in the end. Takeshi's limbs and ultimately neck are cut off. Now, the only person Reizo has to face is his former master Azunu. He discovers the old man inside a room, sitting calmly while people die outside. The master proves his expertise by disappearing into thin air and coming out of the shadow behind Reizo. With only a push, he sends Reizo flying to the other room. Then, they both bring out their swords and engage in a fierce sword fight. Azunu gives him yet another opportunity to apologize, claiming himself to be Reizo's father. But Reizo replies that he is no one's son, and the second he kills Azunu will be his first breath in life. With that being said, the two leap at each other, but Azunu disappears yet again. Unexpectedly, Mika comes into the room hoping to help Reizo. Nonetheless, Azunu reappears from the shadows and attacks her with a sword right through her chest. The fight falls into Azunu's side until Reizo plays the same trick and slices his body repeatedly from the shadows. In the end, he is assassinated with a sword to his shoulder. Reizo brings Mika outside and the paramedics come to her aid. It turns out she was also born with a heart on the right side of her chest, which means she will survive. In the ultimate scene, Reizo jumps off the wall of the academy, as Kiriko wanted him to. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my distinct videos, and if you love it, please break the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification horn. Catch sight of you in the successive video.